readings with Debbie and Matty. 5-star readings only serving the best. Satisfaction guaranteed with Debbie and Matty. Always 5 stars, we don't do any less.
Hello.
Hi.
I love that song. Thank you for doing that.
So cute.
It is darling. I love it. How's it
I'm
going?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. Always busy.
You have a new locate. You're in a new setting today.
Well, there's something weird going on in my office. And on that side where I'm usually at, the internet will not work well at all. And we thought we've had the people out, and then it worked great, and then it didn't. And then again, we had it great, like yesterday. And so if I come over here, there's no problem. So I want my scary stuff behind me, the dark stuff. I'm going to start doing reels and doing ghost stories, and I can't have my spa going on here.
I'm done.
Hi, Carlos, Narina, and Marianne. Hi.
Hello, everybody.
I have a Wi-Fi extender right over there. Not working. Oh, well. Well, we have a lot of new stuff going on. We're going to change our streaming. Next week, we will be on a new streaming service, which we're excited about doing. We have to learn it. And we have to go over what we're going to be doing, because we're going to be doing psychic readings, intuitive readings right now. And you can formulate in your head a question. It can be yes, no, anything like that. Matter of fact, at the end of the show, we'll try to take yes, no. So please share the show out so we can get some people in here. And so we have a few rules. You need to be 18 or older to get a reading. Please don't put anybody's first name or last name in your comment. We can't post that. So you can make up like person of interest, a love interest, an acquaintance, whatever, but don't put their names in there. What else do we have, Matty? What are our other rules?
No legal, no medical. So you, and then Debbie said the others, you have to, you can't put other people's names, and you have to be at least 18. Yeah. But no, we don't do legal or medical advice.
Yes, well. Includes pregnancy, that as well. So let's see. Please go to YouTube to Matty Tarot and subscribe. Also, if you can, go to Psychic Fixes on YouTube and subscribe. If you're coming through Facebook, I'm glad we're seeing everyone. We've had Facebook problems. And so I see everybody. Hi, Nia. Go ahead and give us likes on this broadcast. We have 1 heart. Thank you. So give us some likes there.
And I don't know if you used this feature last time, Debbie, but there's a new feature with StreamYard, I guess. So where the chat can be overlaid on the screen. So that is what you're seeing in the corner here. The live chat. So
I did try it.
Selecting comments or selecting a comment to highlight, the live chat will continue running on the right side of the screen.
When I tried it, it's beta. When I tried it, it took away all my comments, all the comments. So I couldn't, for the whole show, read anybody's comments. Or Facebook wasn't on. So I got my phone out and I read the comments there, but I could only do them for Facebook last time. So when you clicked it, I was going to say, never click that, never click it. But I can see everybody's comments. Thank goodness.
Well, it looks like they've resolved that issue.
Is this something that is favorable to have those up there?
Yeah, I think so. I always, because people who are on Facebook, they don't get to see the people who are on YouTube.
That's true. And we can see everybody there.
Right. So people on different platforms, they can't see the chat for everyone else on the other platform. And, I feel like it really adds to the experience when you can see the full chat. because we don't highlight, we don't select everyone to go up on the screen, so you know you don't get to see what we're seeing the whole time. But
Okay.
but yeah, so this way viewers can see exactly what we're seeing. The whole time. So.
And of course, this is our last show on this on StreamYard.
I believe the new service we got has this same feature.
Oh, I hope you looked at everything, because I'm like,
yes,
I did set up one show, but I still have the other person, Belle, which is my partner, and we do Saturday shows at 1 p.m. She said that she couldn't get in. So she said what I sent her was just to sign up. And I'm going, no, that's not it. Okay, Nettie, please go ahead and put your question in. Okay, just post a question and we'll do reading. And yes, no, whatever. I can look at, if you want me to, June, July, and August. There we go. Can you believe it's like summer?
I know.
How does that happen? I don't know. I'm ready to go to the beach, though.
It's already halfway through the year.
It was a while ago, halfway through to Halloween. That's the one that's so important. If we go halfway, we have to do the Halloween thing.
Hallows Eve.
So, hi, Mary. How are you? You guys, go ahead and Narina, could you take off the initial and just say love interest instead of his initial or their initial, and so we could put it up. Nettie wants June, July, and August. I can do that for you. I have no mouse. I have to use this little pad today. We'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm going to bring Nettie up, and then I'm going to mute, and I'll go ahead and take cards, and I'll come back. How's that?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys, I'm excited for the little switch over into the new service we're going to be using. I mean, it'll be the same for everyone, for you guys, but hopefully, I was kind of looking at the new service. It's got more features and it has more options to its partners that it streams to. So, I mean, I went through them and there's like, I mean, I don't know more than half of them, because I'm like, I actually was going through them and I was like, there's people signing onto these websites and streaming things. Like, you know, it's just interesting how many services there are out there. But yeah, anyway, it looks like a good service. So I'm excited for that change. And please submit your questions. You guys like the show. Please like the show. Hit the thumbs up. I think it's the same on Facebook. Thumbs up. It lets the algorithm know that you like the show. And if you don't, well, then it will not recommend it to other people. And so if you want to see us grow, like the show by letting the algorithm know and hitting the thumbs up. But submit your questions, please. No names of other people. No, not even their initials. Just put in person of interest or person on my mind or my crush or my partner or, you know, my love interest or, you know, whatever you want. Not whatever you want, because you don't put their name. Whatever you want other than that.
Whatever you want. Yay. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay. Nettie. I'm doing June, July, and August. First, four cards that I do represent you. The first one, Energy Crossing. And Energy Crossing can be something coming in, something you're thinking about, you're manifesting in. Then a quick look at the future, past the time period we're looking at, which is August. And then a quick look at the past. So the card that represents you is really a great card of entrepreneurship. I don't know if you're thinking about having your own business or doing something, but I get, it literally means coming home to success, but it's my entrepreneurial card. And this represents you. So I love that. You might think of doing something like that if you're not. Crossing you in temporary energy is the the thought of or a new job or a new project or new stream of money coming in. So it's just energy crossing over you. So I don't know if you're thinking I want a new opportunity, or if not, I feel like this is coming in after summer. Now, after summer, I do get you juggling money a little bit. So make sure that you are, um, budgeting your money, watching your money, sitting on your money a little bit more, because I get juggling. Manifest for that to come in. Matter of fact, recently it shows me you may have gotten a little bit of money. This is when we get a refund or somebody pays us back or something like that. But we do have that in the past position. So when we start with June, I get a harmony and partnership in the first 2 weeks, getting along really well in some kind of a partnership here. Mid to end of June, I have a trip for you, and I want to call it an adventure. So here we have some kind of vacation. We have like, this is my card for journey, move, ready to go. But we're going to go somewhere, and I feel like it's going to be more in an adventure. When we get to July, the first 2 weeks, I feel like you're going to be moving on from something. Like you had something built up and you're ready to go in a different direction because your future lies in a different direction. And I see you going. I want to caution you because I get fears for this. Mid to end of July, I'm looking at, wow, I went in another direction, and this is, a little crazy. You may have some fears here. I get only some good stuff coming, okay? So bring down the fears and go on that new path. When I get to August, I'm going to tell you a sticker moment here. So I want to put the sticker right here of capable right there on your forehead, because it shows me that you are multi-skilled. And during this time period of the beginning of August, I feel like you could do anything. You have the skills, you're capable, you just, you crush it. I love it. Now let's talk about mid to end of August. We have the love card, the Ace of Cups, open heart, blessings, and joy. This is when we're open for relationships, good things coming in, and it's wonderful. Be a little careful. This is a fertility card, by the way. And that's what I have for you through 3 months. And thank you. All right.
Beautiful as always. Okay, let's see. I've chosen Skylark. Skylark says, I'm very confused by my partner's silence. I want it to end, but I don't know how, because I don't understand where he's coming from. If it's manipulation, breakup, miscommunication, what should I do?
Okay, I'm going to look for someone, and I'm going to write in a post who will be next after I select them. So be watching for that.
Sorry, I just dropped my cards. 1 second. Anyway. All right. So I'm connecting to your energy. Just give me a moment.
Nia, I'm going to do you next, okay? I'm going to take some cards.
So before I get into like the reading side of it, I want to just explain something about the silent treatment, and kind of give just like some background on why people do that. And it's a very common thing people do. They give the silent treatment, especially in relationships. You could do it to your friends, your family, whatever. And the reason, I mean, the act itself of giving the silent treatment is an emotional manipulation. Yes, that, like, bare bones silent treatment, that is what that is. However, a lot of the time, I want to just make the distinction, a lot of the time when people are engaging in this type of behavior, they're not intentionally, consciously thinking, I'm going to do this to manipulate this person and to try and, it's not some malicious thought they're having where they're like intentionally or even consciously manipulating and trying to be this devious, nefarious person. Okay, so a lot of the time it's just the way that people, I mean, I'm sure you've even felt it at times, all of us have, where you're like, something about the situation upsets you and you feel like you're not going to respond to that because for whatever reason, when you break it down, it's a form of punishment. There's something upsetting and you're now taking your response away, and depriving that person of that for whatever reason. There could be a variety of reasons. So hopefully in the reading, we're going to find out what that reason is for your partner. It's not a healthy thing to do. I'm not saying that, oh, silent treatment is fine. No, it's actually, it's a very, usually people who lack the understanding of how to articulate and express their emotions partake in this type of behavior because we do what we know how to do and we do what we learned how to do, right? Until we learn better, until we learn the impact it may have on people that we care about, until we learn that there is a way to communicate our emotions, our feelings, and have these discussions. So it's likely your partner is just doing what he's handling his own emotional world in the way he best knows how to do it, and in an attempt. So it largely has nothing to do with you. I mean, his reasoning in his mind has something to do with you, but don't then take that and equate it to your value or your worth or your, own view of like own self-image, because it has nothing to do with you in that regard. It has everything to do with his relationship to his own vulnerability and his own emotions. Okay. So hopefully that provides some clarity in that department. But here, let's get. I just have a question for clarity. How long have you guys been together? How long have you guys been in a relationship? Gotcha. We met at the end of January, started a relationship a month later. Oh, I just want to say, Debbie, be watching the comments, because with the comments showing on the screen, if somebody posts someone's name, you got to take it off. And I won't be watching them right now. Okay. So don't put people's names and no information other than your own, because we'll have to remove your comment. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's get into this. So the first thing that came out here is a want to run away on his end. And I'm getting here that the reason is it's due to, how do I say? Again, it's what I said. His own relationship to his own vulnerability, to his own emotional world. This is a classic example of just avoidant people who are avoidant. He falls in this category. And with avoidant people who are dismissive avoidant, they show up really strong in the beginning of a relationship. They seem well put together. They seem like they are personable. They are attentive. Because it's fun, it's new, it's exciting. It's something that they're not totally emotionally invested in yet. And as time goes on, typically around this mark of time, right? A few months, 5 months, it's going on, that's when things start to change. And the person on the other end is very aware of these changes. And then the other person, and then the avoidant person just acts like they're not happening. And just goes like, what are you talking about? Or, when you do get them in that moment to where you can speak to them, or to where you're finally having some form of communication, they act like it's no big deal. What do you mean? And they kind of just like play it off, write it off, dismiss it, dismissive avoidant. They avoid and dismiss, right? So he said he also has issues, PTSD, and more. This is what he told me. Yeah, I mean, that could very well be true. But again, someone who is dismissive and avoidant is going to deflect. If there's anything there, anytime there's a perceived criticism or something brought up about them or their, contribution to the relationship or what they are doing or not doing, they're probably going to go and point elsewhere and be like, well, here's the reason. So, the PTSD or this or this or this or this. It's never them and their account and their it's never accountability, right? So it's I see that this person has an issue with this. Here's the thing, though. He's not totally not invested. And so this is kind of the moment where you have to decide, because there are people that have relationships with dismissive avoidant people, knowing full and well that they, because it's not something that's like, it's a diagnosis where they have it forever and they never change, right? A person who wants to grow, who wants to learn, who wants to evolve, who wants to, overcome these challenges in communication that they face, then they will do it. They'll do the work. But the thing, that's the main key point here, doing the work. So don't ever stay with somebody who's not doing the work. If it feels like you're doing all the work or having to pull this like unfair amount of weight just to keep things semi cordial and not even like, you know what I mean? Then that is when that's a red flag. And you don't want to, that's when things get hard, right? So it's all a matter of conversation. And I know that's why you're coming here and asking, well, there's no conversation happening. So like, what do you mean? Well, here's the thing. He has a lot of doubt. People like this will never admit it. They will never, ever, ever. Man, I'm not going to say never, ever. Some do. Some will admit it. But it's likely they will not admit that it is rooted, all of it's rooted in their own insecurity. So, right, you say we were inseparable. He switched off out of the blue over a very stupid. There you go. There you go. That's exactly what I'm saying. So, oftentimes people like this, they take very benign comments or benign like instances of like, maybe you said something, maybe you raised your voice, maybe maybe there was a disagreement, and their whole view of conflict is that conflict is a big no, And that means you're not compatible. And that means that, you know, that they're not doing good. And that means that's a criticism of them. And that means that they're not good enough. And that you guys just, you know, they take it to these extreme levels. And so especially if there was some sort of exchange of like, you know, maybe you lost your temper and you said something. It's like, they're not going to drop that. They're going to bring that up almost every time, like that. And so, and it's because, again, it's rooted in such low self-esteem. They already have this view of themselves, and to then take a blow, like they take things and they perceive it as criticism very often. And it could just be the most, like you just said, it was like a stupid reason. It was like, where you're just like, really? You're upset about that? It's like, yeah, they are. Again, it's about being able to, they have to be vulnerable enough to be able to admit that they're upset about that. But likely they'll just be really nonchalant and play it off like it doesn't bother them, but then continually bring it up, then continually cite that as the source, then continually be passive aggressive about it, right? So it's like these things, it's clear that it is something that bothers them. And like I said, they show up really well in the beginning, and then they do this like total 180. So, I mean, this is all, I mean, that's what the reading says, that this is the type of dynamic you're in. And so what I'm explaining right now is just the psychology of it, because, I mean, this is all just attachment. I don't know if you've ever heard of attachment theory, but I mean, it's very well studied and applicable, you know. So this is just standard dismissive, avoidant attachment that you're seeing, and everything you're saying falls right into that. That's the way it goes with people who have a dismissive, avoidant attachment. So what I do see, though, is that this person feels stuck. They feel like while they want things with you, they don't feel like it's the right choice because of this very convoluted, very skewed perspective they have of relationships, and of their own poor relationship with their own vulnerability. People like this, they get like, they may have a moment where you feel like they're being vulnerable, but it's like the safe level of vulnerability. It's like the stories, maybe they, you know, the highlighted stories from their childhood that maybe they've told time and time again, and really maybe they don't even have a memory of these stories. Maybe it was just like stories that their parents told them, and like, oh, the time you did that, and then they tell that story in such a way that seems like they're being vulnerable. It seems like they're opening up, but it's a safe story for them. They're not really admitting to any time. If you notice, you'll never really heard them say anything like, I was totally wrong about that and ashamed, and I, you know, had to really sit and think. And you know, they're not like they're not really being vulnerable of like, you know, you ask them about a past relationship, they're like, the person was crazy. You know, they don't say anything about themselves. They're never like, you know, I didn't do what I needed to do to, you know, mend communication and like, whatever. Like, it's always, like I said, pointing the other way. But when you're pointing fingers, you have 3 pointing back at you. So, I will say this. You said he is erasing all of the love we've given each other for a small bump in the road. And yes, he talks really bad about his exes. Yeah, that's a big red flag. I'm going to say that right now. Skylark, that's a big red flag. If you ask somebody about their past relationships and they kind of take all of them and they lump them up into one thing, and they're like, they were all crazy. They were all tripping. I never did anything wrong. It was always them. I mean, if we just look at statistics, like, that's incorrect. That's a false statement. Like, just from jump, you can determine that is also, who's the common denominator in all of those relationships? It was with different people, right? But there's a common denominator. Who was in all of those relationships? He was. So how likely statistically is it that it was that they were all crazy. That's not what happened. So there's and oftentimes, and again, he may not even be aware of this. He may be, because there's a thing we do, cognitive dissonance, and we're blind to ourselves. So that's why it's great to have people who can give us feedback, because we can learn about ourselves and we can, you know, learn how to do better. But we have this blindness about us, and so he likely, since he doesn't take criticism well, I'm assuming, he likely doesn't want to hear it, doesn't take the time to actually introspect, and just overlooks it, has this cognitive dissonance about it. It's not him. It's not him. He's just doing what he does. He's just chilling, right? He's just chilling. He's chill. He's always cool. He's cool. He's cool. He's not upset. He's not, it's just like this nonchalance, right? It's all an act. It's all an act. Because again, he doesn't know how to be vulnerable, because he thinks vulnerable is weakness. And he also thinks that, you know, you get too close to somebody and eventually they're going to see that you're not good enough and then leave you. So that's where all this is coming from. And I'm going to tell you right now, based on the things you are saying, that you should cut your losses. I know that's not what you want to hear, but it's not going. And I mean, this is in the cards too. You have some higher calling right now that your intuition has been saying this to you. It's like I don't know the exact words that your intuition's saying, but it's almost as if it's like, girl, run. You keep getting these like urges of like, run, like get out, stop, don't do that. But you're ignoring them. But you should stop ignoring them, because it's really trying to keep you protected from a person that's going to not be a good experience in your life if you keep moving forward with them. And you know, what's created out of this is not, I don't see it. It's not even one of those things that's like, oh, this was a necessary lesson. No, it's literally saying like, this is very unnecessary. Don't do it. And so maybe you were meant to get this reading to maybe that is your message. So, because oftentimes, you know, we like to think that every issue we face in life and every problem we face is like, oh, there was a reason for it. But that's not always the case. Sometimes it's just because we weren't paying attention. And all the signs were there, but we kind of just went, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at it. And so that's just negligence. That's not like any other reason other than just our own negligence. So I mean, I don't think you should move forward with this person. I think you may have had a nice experience, but trust me, there are other people out there that will give you all of that and more, and also know how to communicate, and also aren't afraid of embracing vulnerability, because that is the strongest thing you can do. So you can really see how actually, I don't want to say weak, but I want to say how afraid a person is by their ability to be vulnerable. If they're, you know what I mean? Because it takes courage to do that. It takes a lot of strength to do that, to admit where your shortcomings are, to admit your emotions, to say how you feel, to actually have that softness. And a lot of times, in the way that men are raised, they are stripped of that opportunity because of this. Like, I mean, it's many reasons, but it's like, oh, boys don't cry. Oh, stop being a little girl. You know, be a man. You know, suck it up. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Grow some balls. Like whatever it is. There's this. It's beat into men's heads that soft and vulnerable, you know, showing your emotions is soft and it's a girl thing, and don't do that. But really, it's quite literally so necessary to have any sort of, you know, long-standing relationship, and to build that type of dynamic with somebody. It's essential. So they're really being robbed of a great opportunity by denying their vulnerability. Also, it just shows, again, how fearful they are of being seen as like soft or weak. And, you know, what does that mean? What does that mean? If somebody is fearful of being seen as soft or weak, I mean, that means they probably don't they don't have enough confidence to talk themselves through that and understand that it doesn't matter what other people think. You know, it doesn't matter, like, other people's opinions of me doesn't affect me. Like, so again, it just points back to that low self-esteem. I'm just going to pull a few more cards in here. Look at that. Boom. First one that came out. Oh, here, wait. Hold on, give me a second. Is it the right way now? There we go. That's the first one that came out. I'm telling you, that's what it's saying here. Stop while you're ahead. Stop while you're ahead. This person's gonna. You may have had a lot of passion, but typically that's all there is in these relationships. Once that dies out, once you because it's like, oh great, it's all fiery passion in the beginning, and then you like, okay, you start to be like, you know, this thing you do annoys me, and the way you say this and the way you do that, and like, I don't like the way you talk to me here, and you guys start to have the real world problems of like every person that ever in existence has interacted with anybody, you know, faces, and you start to go, and then they don't have any of the tools to be able to communicate through those things, so then it just all falls apart. And it turns into a cluster F. Again, consciousness came out here. Again, your intuition is speaking to you. You've known this, but you know, you wanted to get clarity to make sure that that was the right decision. It is the right decision. Yeah. The last two that came out, sweetness and where are we? Where are we? Peace. Sweetness and peace. Take the high road. Keep it cute. Keep it sweet. Keep it short, simple, sweet. And choose peace, because this person is not going to bring you that. And you can see that already by how you're feeling. So I hope that you're able to heed this advice. Trust me, there's somebody else right around the corner. There's somebody else right around the corner, and it's gonna be a stark difference, and you'll notice it almost immediately. But you got to let go of this first. As long as you're holding on to this, you'll overlook those opportunities. Okay. So I wish you the best. I hope it helped. That's all I have for you this evening.
That was great. Good advice. Nia. Okay. Well, congratulations on this, because I have such good news here for you. You started to sew for other people, and what you make sell. It's a big giant yes, but let me go through the cards, okay? The card that represents you is working well with people, by the way, so this is a great skill. Now, I'm going to tell you, this energy crossing over you is like the teacher energy. So I don't know if you've thought of this, or it's going to come up in the future, but with the skills of being able to show people how to do something, you might include sewing and teaching it. Okay. Because that's that energy crossing over you. That might be coming in. I feel you're going to be fine and very successful in the future. I do get that you just started a new beginning, by the way. You have the World card, reaching your desires, getting your goals, making a change for the better in your home, your career. It's a great path. I think you're going to absolutely love it. There's two very loving cards here, by the way, and it shows me it's a good investment for you. Now, it's slow growing, Nia. It takes time to build this up, okay? But it will make the money. You may get to a point where you take on a little bit too much, so be careful about that. And maybe you don't see clearly what's ahead, but I do. I think it's going to be absolutely wonderful. Now, let me tell you a short story. Years ago, I had a client and a young mother, uh, getting a divorce and no money. And she's came to me like, will something work for me? And she had mentioned about sewing, and I looked into that. And I said, you are going to be famous and you are going to do so well. I want you to start making sewing, not just for your kids, but I need you to start sewing for everybody and make it a business. And she was like, how can I do that? I said, you're going to, and you're going to be famous. Today, she shows at New York Fashion Week, in London, in all the places. And so she's she's well known, and she is a super successful businesswoman. And she started with just her sewing machine. So I get very good success for you, Nia. Good luck in that. Stick with it. Again, I see you taking on a little bit too, like a lot to carry. This is a lot to do. Do it. I feel like you're going to be absolutely wonderful. So congratulations on that. Go for your dreams because I see it as reality. Very good. All right. Hello to the new people that came in, and thank you for the like and all that great stuff. We randomly choose. That was one of the questions. And so reposting does help so that we can see the new comments, and we don't want to miss you. Okay. 7. Thank you. True. Absolutely true. And I tell people, you channel and you just go out and you just like, go do that. And you go like, what did I just say? And yeah, they can do wonderful things out there. So for Nia, this is a really great thing. And I've seen it happen. Okay, I've seen it happen. Okay, I'm going to be searching for someone. Carlos, you're asking, did I replace everything? We replaced internet wires, we replaced router, all this stuff. And so it's just one of those crazy things. It's a big house, and I am all the way away from the router, but we do have those little boosters everywhere. So we'll probably try one more thing. I'm not giving up. It used to work here. So
Okay.
Marky, can I
I
ask you a question, or could you send me, oh, just a second. Marky, can you send me an email to me personally at psychicfixes@gmail? Because I want to tell you something, okay, about your question. But I'm not going to do it public, okay? We may check on that for you, but I want to tell you something else, okay? So psychicfixes@gmail. And I'm going to go find my next person, and I'm going to post a comment on who that's going to be.
And one thing I want to say to Skylark in the long message I just typed you in the comments. Excuse my typos. I was just typing away and trying to get back to another reading, so I apologize. But hopefully you can make out what I'm saying. Let's see. Where is it? I just had it. Oh, here we go. Mary Bennett, I would love a general reading, if drawn. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Interesting. Okay, just a moment more, almost done. Okay. Last time we did the show, I left my little bag out, and look what Opal did. Debbie. She chewed through my bag. She had all the cards out. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh, you're trying to read tarot?
Sorry, I was muted. Oh my gosh. She likes to chew.
She got into
Oh,
so some of
we'll
them
have
are
to
a
get you a
little.
new bag. We'll get you a new bag.
I think I have another one somewhere. I just haven't changed
Okay,
it.
I'm going to go back to Nari now next. I'm going to mute.
Alrighty, Mary Bennett. So there's currently there's a need for truth. I'm getting here. Maybe there's something that you are afraid to say to somebody. So I'm gonna say up front, I never like to BS anybody, and I will always be very honest in what I'm getting. I'm gonna say up front, this is very vague, you're reading here, and I'm having trouble kind of piecing it together. So if you could please, as I go on, tell me like if I'm on the right path, and if not, then we can take another approach. But I do believe that you are having trouble speaking up right now about some sort of truth that you're feeling, something that is true to you. It's like, but you don't want to say something for whatever reason, because maybe you're afraid of the backlash, or afraid of the implications of what it would mean, or what might come of it. Or maybe just in general, like you don't feel like you have the support. Or you're worried. Okay, there's something here about betrayal. Maybe you're worried that it would be, you have set boundaries with others. So maybe, hold on there. Let me just see. Okay, I mean, maybe this has to do with, yes, I have been betrayed. Maybe this has to do with like a period you're going through right now of just kind of struggling with like the reality of life, the truth. Like you're like, maybe you're having a hard time. I think I got it. I think I'm on the right track now. I think you're having a hard time mentally. Kind of just like with this, like, what's the point? Or like, struggling with your happiness. And kind of just having maybe some difficult thoughts of like just a lot of negative. I actually don't like to call it negative, because I don't think any emotion is negative. So like unpleasant, a lot of just unpleasant thoughts and emotions. and kind of just like weighing on your ability to like see the silver lining, or maybe on your like overall view of happiness or life, or like what there is to gain in this life. And you're kind of just having a hard time with that in general. That there's, I will say this, you're going through a period of transformation. There's something that has happened. You just said you've been betrayed. I don't know when that was, but you're still healing from. I don't feel like it was that long ago. I think you're still healing from this, and you're in this kind of like interim, or this the space in between from. Oh, you say you lost a child. Okay, yeah, that's definitely something that that like would take a long time to heal from. Oh wow, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My heart goes out to you. I mean, I can't even imagine, because obviously I'm not able to be childbearing, right? But I don't think there's much things that are worse. And I'm not like categorizing people's pain, but that's a very difficult one. So my heart goes out to you. This makes a lot of sense now. Okay. It's just this general struggle you have. I mean, I think I'm right on the head, hitting the nail right on the head when I said it. Just this having a hard time viewing the future and how it could ever be bright again, right? And this, like, at times it's like, this is such a, people have a really hard time with this word. And so I want you to hear me out when I'm saying this. At times, this like almost jealousy that you experience, and you don't like that you experience it, but like there's no other really word that describes what it is, but it's because of the unfair thing that happened. Like you don't see it as fair, and I mean, how could you, right? But almost then it's not that you, so I want to make a clear distinction between jealousy and envy. It's not envy, because envy says, I see what this person has and I don't want them to have it, and I want it. That's envy. That's like not a good thing, right? And that's really, so it's not that you see, people with their children, or people, and you say you don't want them to have it. It's not that at all. Jealousy is a whole different thing. It says, wow, I'd really like that. I would really like that for myself. And it upsets me that I don't have that. And so that's all that is, what jealousy is. A lot of people conflate the two and they make jealousy envy, but that's not. It's like envy always involves jealousy. So jealousy can go under the umbrella of envy because it's part of it. But under the umbrella of jealousy, envy does not fit under that umbrella. Envy is a completely separate thing. Does that make sense? It's kind of how like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. So one fits under the umbrella, the other one doesn't. So jealousy does not involve envy in any way, and does not seek to take things from others for one's own personal gain. It just simply, it's a natural thing we experience when we see something happening that we want and that we have in some way feel been unable to do, or that it was taken from us, or that it was some unfair reason why we, it didn't have. So jealousy then is a natural occurrence of that happening. Okay. So, I mean, I do see that you're experiencing these just like roller coaster waves, like of emotion, where it's like one moment seemingly okay, the next moment not. And it fluctuates often. It's been really hard for you. And I just hope you're talking to somebody. That's really the message that's coming out here, that you need to talk to somebody. I don't know if you have someone that you can talk to, or if you feel like that's enough, but maybe seeking a professional might be, because I don't see, I'm going to be honest, I don't see you're I don't see that you're doing too well, and it's really hard for you, and maybe you need to admit that to yourself. I don't know if you've admitted it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. We all struggle from, some more than others, and each person has their own little way of finding that, of reconciling that within them. It's like, it's unique. So one person's way is not the same. And I always say, like, when I say get a professional, it's like, I always say with therapy, it's like a good therapist doesn't heal you. They're not like charged with healing you. A good therapist is present and asks, the right questions to make a person do that deep dive and find the answers within, find their answers. So like, there's a lot of people in therapy that think like, oh, I'm just going to rattle off this information to you. And like, I'm doing, I'm the one that's like, but really it's like, that doesn't help people. And also it's got to come from within. So a good therapist is just, they're present, they're supportive, and they prod, they poke and they prod, and they get in there, and they facilitate the path to that introspection. And sometimes it takes, going from one to another until you find the right one. But if that's not an option for you, if that is an option for you, I highly recommend it. But get the right therapist. So keep that in mind. What I've just said, like between what's a good and what's not a good, and just when you'll know when you're with the right one that's not talking at you, but instead prompting you and just being a silent, essentially like a witness in your own healing, right? But you got to talk to somebody. It's really important. This is like, you got to talk to someone. It's you can't just like do it on your own. And I think you know that. I think you already know that. So maybe you don't feel like you have anyone to talk to, or maybe you don't feel like you are able to get the proper help. And that makes sense, because of course you'd feel like that going into it. How could you ever move forward from this? And it's like, I just want you to keep in mind all the terminology. People, like, they have a hard time with terminology. So it's like, no one's telling you to let go. No one's telling you to move on. No one's telling you to get over it. But you do need to continue moving forward, because you do have a life ahead of you. And that doesn't mean any of those things I just said. It doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean any of that. But you got to find the way to move forward, because I mean, it's your life as well, and that's just as valuable. And so even if it's a way to carry on that energy and to do something with it, then so be it. But I think you need help. I think what you're struggling with is finding that path, because right now it just all looks bleak. Again, understandably, I can't begin to even imagine. I will say this. There's going to be a person that comes into your life. I don't know if you've already met them. I don't know if you're with the person that is the other parent of this of your child, or if you're still with them, if you're still in that relationship, if there's any involvement there, or if that's in the past. I don't know. Maybe this situation maybe came in between you two, even, because that happens a lot too. And in times where a loss of a child disrupts the relationship itself of the two parents. So I don't know any of that. It's not coming out here, but I will say that there is a male figure that really, really, really helps you along the way. And they come in at a time where you're feeling like you're on your last straw, or like hope, or like breath, even. Like they come in and it's like, look, this owl here shows wisdom. There's a little key and there's this little halo. And the Ten of Swords is like when you're feeling defeated. So there's like this defeat that is felt, I'm going to give up, right? And then there's like saving grace of like, ah, and this like the key, and then the wisdom. It's like the wisdom comes in. Whether this is the person that you find to talk to and they're like the right therapist for you, I don't know. Or maybe it's a partner, or maybe it's a romantic interest. But either way, this person is committed to helping. They are loyal. They are slow and steady, wins the race. They are consistent. They are stable. And they provide a really, really, really good set of guardrails for you to find that path again. And so I don't know when that's coming, but I am getting a very strong message here that you will not be left behind you're not forgotten, okay? You're not forgotten, you're not left behind in the aftermath of this. And that there's something here that is waiting for you, okay? But that you need to continue moving forward to reach it. So that's all I have. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this is a really difficult reading. Sometimes I don't like the message or like the way it ends, and I feel like almost like, wow, I wish there was something else I could say, but that's what is here. So my heart goes out to you once again. I do want to pull a crystal card for you. So green aventurine. Green aventurine. It says, a very powerful stone is known to promote positivity. When held close, this green stone can stimulate creativity and open your mind to a fresh outlook on reality. Green aventurine is also a calming stone. It stimulates emotional healing and is associated with the heart chakra. So that's all I have for you this evening. I really hope that helped, and God bless you.
Oh, that was very sweet. And you did great. Thank you, Matty. I am moving to Narina. Narina, oh my goodness. So I have stuff to tell you here. Let me get a sip of water. So you have a love interest and dating a few months. Let me tell you about the cards that I have for you first. The card that represents you is my happily ever after card. I use it when I need to find out if there's a wedding, things going on. This represents you. You want that happily ever after. The crossing you in temporary and is the Knight of Cups, the romantic dreamer card. And that seems appropriate. I get great things for you in your future. I feel like you are going to get what you want out of life. I feel very good about positive changes for you. The past position is my entrepreneurial card. I don't know if you were doing something in the past, your own business or anything like that, but a good card showing of, where you should be and some skills that you have. As far as this person, I get crisis card here and a lot of money cards. Back and forth about waiting for money. What about the job? Juggling money. Oh, good. Money's going to be good. I mean, it's just off the chart here. So he needs to really get professional help or counseling or advice about all these little matters, especially about money, because it's running in here. I do get him as a good guy, and I do feel like that his heart is open for love. But when I ask a little bit further about what's going on or what's going to happen, I get that he needs to face his fears. That's one thing he has to do. And he has that card of having the guard up. And this is a card of like kind of watchful and guarded type of energy. That kind of holds you back when you get, that type of card where we want love and there definitely is feelings for you. But when we're going through crisis, and then he's got this card of, I'm ready for anything, it's like walking on eggshells, anxiety and stuff. And, just being careful. Sometimes it's like I got hurt once, but make sure it doesn't happen again. So you have these two things fighting against each other. So I did take some cards to just say, kind of and I like he's very skilled, by the way. But I do get the Knight of Swords card, which is your ultimate outcome card right now. And that's just for right now. And that is my card of can't commit. So you got to know that he's not ready to commit. And to me, that's always my big red flag when I get this card. So he's got a lot of issues going on. Money's number one. Remember, he needs to seek out professional help as far as some of these details that he's going through. He's got his guard up, but he does have feelings. Okay, and that's what I have for you. Best of luck.
That was lovely, Debbie.
Okay.
Hey, you guys, we're gonna do.
I had to get up because.
You said what?
I said I had to get up because I realized that when I went to this location, I didn't have my. I didn't have, power, and all of a sudden everything went dark, and I was like, "Oh!" I had to turn on the water fountain. The water fountain turns everything on. Okay, go ahead because I'm getting limited in time here.
Okay, well, we're just going to go ahead and do a rapid yes or no question. So if you have a yes or no question you would like answered, please enter it into the chat right now.
Can you guys post it right now?
Yes, put your yes or no questions in the chat.
I'll bring down the chat so I can see.
Reading. It doesn't matter if you want to put multiple in the in there, but we're doing yes or no rapid answers right now.
Yeah, just a couple. You're welcome, Narina. Oh, Marianne, they're still looking. You're looking for an apartment. Okay. Okay.
Yes or no questions, guys.
Yeah, because I've looked at this before. Okay, let me look. In June, will there be teachers find an apartment? Let me see what happens. I'm going to give a yes on that. The first card I got was my card of moving and home and getting a desire. So I'm going to say yes. I think it was very positive there. You need to stay on it.
So my pendulum answers in yes or no, but I'm going to also give you intuitive guidance because I don't want you to be discouraged by the answer. But it says no. But here's the reason I think it says no. Because love is a feeling, like all other feelings. It is not something that is permanent. And you can be in a relationship over many years with somebody, and there's going to be times where you don't feel like you love them. That's what happens. So it's then through communication and through, you know, being able to rekindle that spark and be able to keep watering that garden and watering that plant and keeping that relationship alive. If you're not tending to your relationship, you are killing it. So that's, you know, one of those things. It's like the grass is not greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. So I'm going to say this. Right now they're not feeling it. Right now there's something that is making them have a lot of doubt. They're fluctuating. They're kind of giving themselves reasons to get out. So it's all about getting to the root of what the issues are and having those hard, difficult conversations and being able to. This seems to be a theme right now, but being able to, both of you being able to regulate your own emotions throughout the process of that, to be able to have those conversations collectively as a team with a shared goal in mind. That's the goal, right? Is like, if you're able to do that, which is hard, it's a lot easier said than done, right? So, I mean, setting an intention, being vocal about it, approaching it that way. Hey, let's keep this in mind. Like, let's set an intention together, making it a collaborative effort, doing your best not to you and you and you and you, like pointing at each other, and like, yeah, it's not going to work that way. So getting to the root of the issues, having a common goal, regulating emotion, taking pause when you're upset. Don't feel like it's, you know, feel like the conversation is going to go off, and coming back to it when you can actually have that productive conversation. Okay.
Okay. Nia, no. And I don't know if he just recently lost some money or something. I don't know. But it's a no. I don't have, I'd like to have better cards. It's got to be a no for me.
Okay. Any others? Shawnee, we can't do yours because I'm sorry, we cannot have any. Huh?
Yeah. You don't put initials in, but I'm gonna look at it.
Okay.
Okay. Shawnee.
We won't bring it up, but so Shawnee, we're gonna look at yours. Look into yours. Okay. Well, I have my answer. I love that me and Debbie have a long-standing, long-running, how do you say it, record of consistently having the same answer to things when, you know, we have no prior communication about it. So I love it. We're really in sync. And so I have my answer. I'm going to wait for Debbie's.
I think he's fine. However, I don't think it's going to last.
Exactly what I got. I said, so the pendulum said yes, but then I got this intuitive message. I don't know about the one. I don't know if I would say the one, but you are being given a message to proceed with the relationship. It is something that you're going to get something out of it. It is important in your journey, and just keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. The relationships that are the stepping stones to ultimately the person we end up with or whatever. I mean, those are just as important, and they're not always terrible experiences. Like, I mean, they're not always these like tumultuous, terrible, like some people have amicable breakups and they just like go their separate ways. They grew apart. They realize it's not, you know, whatever the reason is. Don't always make it seem like, oh, it's either like that's really black and white thinking. You want to avoid that. It's either horrible or it's the one. That's not it. It's on a spectrum. So you're being encouraged to move forward in the relationship. I don't know if it's going to be the person you ultimately end up with in the end, though. So proceed how you choose.
Yeah. I think it's good stuff, but I don't see it lasting. I get fond memories of the past and then a heartache. So that tells me it's not going to last. But there's some good stuff there. So it might be
and
a lesson.
heartache is necessary. I mean, think about it.
Okay,
Like,
you guys, I know I need to get going, and we do accept donations if you guys want to look at what's scrolling or in the write-up description. We have links.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here every Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for 5-star readings with Debbie and Matty. Stay tuned for our little theme song that plays on the outro. But thank you. We'll see you next week. All right. Bye.
It's 5-star readings with Debbie and Matty. 5-star readings only serving the best. Satisfaction guaranteed with Debbie and Matty. Always 5 stars, we don't do any less.